Hey everyone, I don't know if you can hear this. I'm not using the microphone because it ran out of charge. However, I'm too excited to wait to charge it up to show you this. So hopefully you can hear me. But what's inside the car is going to really upset my dad and make some of you question my sanity. Here we go. As I said, this could go either way. See that in there? It's another table saw, but really cheap. Let me explain. So this is an old Elu ETS 3151 Saw King, which is a sight saw. There's loads of these around on Marketplace. They're all cheap as chips because they're a bit shit. Great for being on site and doing rough stuff, but not for any close work. But let me show you what the exciting thing is. I'll plug it in first, hold on. I'm sorry, is there a blade running? It's so quiet. There's absolutely no brake on it though, so it takes forever to slow down, but let's look over that one. You should be able to see right here that we've got a 2 kilowatt, so is that 2 horsepower, 2,750, 50 hertz obviously because it's UK, 230 volt. Jobs are good, and can't see what the number is on it, but you know, there you go. But it's got a 315 mil or 300 mil blade in it, which is monstrous, and I'm definitely going to go for more like a 250, I think, because 300s are relatively expensive. This is the blade rise and fall, and it is pretty tight at the minute. I've just put a little bit of dry lube on there, but we'll be working on that. And here there's a lock right up here, but this is to organise the tilt, so we can tilt it and do whatever with that. And again, I can put a different system on for tilting rather than just hoying it up there and locking it in. But so we've got the rise and fall and we've got the tilt. Once again, we've got all that information going on here, but this is from 1995, which I think is pretty cool. Got the serial number there and all that sort of nonsense. But yeah, that shows us all of the details. But Elu 1995, before Dewalt took over. Lovely old job. Now then, here's the other exciting stuff that I'm really happy about. You can see how this machine is bolted to that upper table, or rather just sort of thrown in there with that kind of casing spot welded over the top. So I am going to be able to recreate those brackets and make that under plywood or something. Now, because dust collection isn't really a priority with these kind of old sight saws, I think we can, is there a clip on the back there? Yeah. Boom. And that's access to the blade and all that sort of stuff. Now, this currently doesn't have a riving knife on it, but I will be able to put one on in the arm that holds the blade. So, yeah, that whole thing, you can see that whole system is moving up there. And that's what's rising the blade, and so the riving knife will be able to go into there. It's even got this, which kind of passes for a fence. I mean, it's not a smooth mover, and obviously even when it's tightened up, it's not going to be ideal. But this thing you could reset to 45 degrees and all sorts of things, or 30 degrees on here, but up to 45 up there, and do all sorts of fun stuff with it. So, you know, they really thought about a lot back in the 90s, but that is all seized. But nevertheless, I can reuse a lot of these parts, which I think is going to be really cool. So what's the plan with this? Well, the idea is I'm going to completely disassemble it, obviously. We know the motor works, and unlike the last table saw that I tried to restore, you can, because Dewalt took over Elu, and Elu is still a bit of a monster in the game, with regards to old school tools, you can still get spares for this, which is brilliant. Right, I have just taken the legs off it and turned it upside down, and I can show you that we've got this section at the front of the saw right here, or the back of the saw rather. That is connected to the table, so we'll just make another metal one of these sort of affairs. And then moving around to the other side, we've just got a similar sort of thing going on right here. So these and the angle attachment thing are the only bits that are really connected to the table. So we should be able to do those or redo those pretty easily. Now, I paid 20 quid for this. There's no safety features with it. It's all kind of rough and ready and what have you, but you can find these on Facebook Marketplace for very, very little, sort of 50, 60 quid thereabouts. And there's loads of them, and most of them, I did have an old Metabo one for a day before I got my Axminster a couple of years ago, and same sort of motor, quiet as you like. It had a sliding table with it and all that sort of stuff, but I did wonder then whether sort of just putting a plywood top on it would work, and indeed that would, and that may happen. We'll have to see. But I do want to make sure that I can get the best out of this saw. This has got the solid bones, a nice relaxed kind of motor, induction motor with it. It's got a decent kind of mechanism. It's got all of the bits that I need, so I'm not going to be searching for arbor nuts and all that sort of nonsense. So really it's a case of taking it to bits and figuring out what I can salvage, what I can't, and also doing things like how I'm going to arrange the tilt function as well, which is cool. But the other good thing is it was like a house clearance type place that I got this from. But also, let me show you just a couple of other things that I picked up for gigs and shit. This stuff obviously came out of an old school woodworker's workshop, which is, you know, it's amazing that I can get this stuff back into use. But I say old school because there's a couple of turning chisels here, but they're made out of files. So he's clearly made them himself, but you can see that the filing, the file marks are still on the side of this skew. So I think that's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to doing that, to using these. Probably put some different handles on them. But we've got these. We've got this monster block plane right here, which is a decent size. Curiosity got the better of me. I had to get the tape measure out. So this one is 17 inches, which is a monster. And this big jointing plane is 2 foot. They've both got blades in them. And yeah, I think they're the blades that I've seen before that come from Sheffield. So yeah, they're going to be brilliant to use. Now then, we've also got 3 old wooden handled hand saws. Now this one's a rip saw. I don't know if they all are. I can look. No, this one's looks like more of a cross cut. This is a plastic handle, but this one is a Diston. That one, there's no maker's mark on that as far as I can see yet. But yeah, this one is a Diston, and it says on the blade the contractor. So yeah, Diston USA contractor saw. And then there's this one, which is a cross cut again, and has definitely been sharpened in the past. And this bad boy is a really old school Spear and Jackson. Fantastic. So wooden handle, nice solid blade. These are going to clean up lovely, and all of those extras cost me an extra tenner. So, you know, for all in all, I've been out today and I've spent £30 and got a table saw to renovate and make awesome, and I've got a bunch of tools. So make sure you're subscribed if you want to follow along to how I make this really kind of a worthwhile saw. Hopefully I can, fingers crossed. And if I can, then this is going to be the way that you can get a induction motored table saw, make some stuff yourself, and make it just as safe and just as useful as a modern £1,000 saw, but without the cast iron top. All right, let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. Bye bye. And if any of you are wondering what I'm doing with this old girl, I am going to see if I can move it on to anybody else that wants to have a project like this, and we'll see how that goes. So if you want it, let me know. I might stick it on Facebook Marketplace, or yeah, but I haven't got the space in this little tiny workshop for both saws, and I don't think, in all honesty, I'm going to be able to afford to risk getting this machined out, this arbor machined out and all that sort of stuff. I did even think whether I can use this cast iron table with that saw, but I think that's kind of pointless for what I'm trying to achieve with that saw, which will be to create something that you could do if you so wanted. If I use a cast iron top, then that you can't do that. So yeah, anyway, if you want it, let me know.